Happy Monday. It's Monday, so I got my buddy Paul fishing with me this morning. We came back out to the same spot. I can't not come back out here. Now, so far we have not found the picture that we've seen here in the last certainly 4 or 5 days. We have our second day of east wind. But we came back out to our spot here. We're looking over these big windswept, deeper reefs, and we did make a first drift here already before I filmed this, and I caught a sheep's head. Paul's laid the smackdown on gobies almost every cast, but we're already looking because we just drifted over the second piece, the second reef with few marks. Now I'm going to go down along the main reef where I had them yesterday morning early, and take a look at that. Use your electronics. If you have electronics on your boat, get in the habit of where you use your electronics before you start fishing, because the extra 10-15 minutes that it takes to go back and forth through an area until you find a school of fish and then fish them, everything changes. How you approach it changes, your mentality. You already know there's fish there, and that's a big deal. Captain Tony Buffa says all the time, I'm not going to go and fish where I don't see them. Well, I've learned to be the same way. It doesn't do us any good to just fish water. So we're actively looking right now, and I already missed the 6 a.m. update, so we'll get back to you at 7. All right. What's up, everybody? We're back with a 7 a.m. update. So we made a drift over one of the outer reefs early. I did get a big sheep's head, and that was it. We didn't see a ton of marks, so we slid to the south side of this big piece of structure, which runs east and west. So here's the structure, and we're coming down along this southern edge of it because this east wind is blowing us right down along it. And that last drift right there, we ended up with three keepers, and Paul is just crushing the gobies. Almost every cast. So there's plenty of food here. I had 2, you had 1, you had yours on that shiver minnow.
Brown and white shiver minnow.
The brown goby shiver minnow that I showed everybody the other day. That's what he got his on, and I had mine on, were both of them on the bucktail?
Yeah.
I switched over to one of those bucktails that Rick tied me out the apps, custom tied me while I waited. 2 light tans, got a little darker brown head, light tan body, nothing on it, just snapping it. And we found those fish in skinny water, 10 to 15 foot of water. But again, here's the shoal. It's laying east and west. We were on the upwind side. We were on the east end of it. And as we got farther up onto that shallow before it hit the weeds and it really started getting skinny, that's where those fish were laying. So they were right in that kind of swirl right there. Now it's 7 a.m. We don't have a ton more time because it's a Monday morning. So we're going to get up a little bit farther on this reef and start checking another edge where I had them yesterday. So 3 keepers, 1 sheepy, and an abundance of gobies. Although you had 1 big one, it was like that big. And he broke the cherry on his brand new JT rod, which is awesome. Awesome.
Love it.
All right, we'll see you at 8, unless something really good happens between then and now, or now and then.
As a mountain goes through, maybe it's
What's up, everybody? All right, so let's finish off our day here. It's 8:30, 8:45. I got to get out of here. It's Monday morning. That last drift in between our last 2, we ended up with 2 or 3 more walleyes, barely keepers. We didn't have any shorts today. They were all barely keepers. Tons and tons of gobies. Imagine amazing how many gobies are living on these rocks. Everything today was on a mix of jig and wrap style, shiver minnows and
I got a blade. I have one on the blade.
I had one on a blade too, I think. I had one on a gold blade. You had one. I lost something big on a gold blade. Had something else big that we lost. It wasn't fast and furious for us this morning by any means. This is day 2 of this big east wind. I say big east wind. It's not honking. I mean, it's 5 to 10, 12 maybe. But it's the second day now of this east wind. So we'll see what tomorrow brings if it keeps that same wind. Because remember, 3 days of the same weather, same stable wind is usually when things really get crazy. It's given that fish time to recongregate. Now, I will say something this morning. Paul and I didn't spend as much time as we normally would have looking around because we're on a limited schedule. Monday through Friday, I usually have 3 hours to fish in the morning this time of year. Later on, when it's, it doesn't get light till 6, 7 a.m., it's considerably shorter. At that time of year, I might only fish an hour to an hour and a half before I got to get moving through the rest of my day. So this time of year, we have 3 hours from 5:30 to 8:30 usually, where it's go time. And this morning was the slowest morning I've had in probably 2 weeks, and we had 5 keepers between us, which is great. Nothing wrong with that. A big sheep's head, a couple other fish on and off, but we didn't find the concentrations of them. Now, we did see clusters in spots, but it would be a cluster, and then you'd go a group, and then you'd find another cluster. Whereas 3-4 days ago on that west wind, it was cluster, 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 cluster. We just piled with them. So they couldn't have went too far, and we'll see what tomorrow brings with this wind resetting them up. I'll be curious to see what happens then. But today, water temp, I haven't been saying it because it's 75 degrees. That's what it is. And until the next time you'll hear me start talking about it is when it starts going back down. We're still a month away from that. So, at the very least. I know the trollers are still doing good. I know guys throwing stuff in the weeds are still doing good. And there's a number of different weed programs you can do. You can rip stuff through the weeds. You can fish over the top of the weeds. That's up to you. I know that's still going good. Like I say, the trollers, whether it's stick baits, whether it's worm harnesses, drifters are pulling stuff on worm harnesses. Jigging is still a viable solution to go fishing and catch fish. You just got to be on them, like anything else. So that's my morning. We'll throw a couple pictures up in the video of fish we caught. We didn't do any live action stuff because it was really few and far between and spread out. But I'll see you tomorrow morning back out here again somewhere. I shouldn't say that. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to see what depending on the wind, I'm going to see what these fish do on day 3. So we'll figure that out from there. Thanks, buddy, for joining me. As always, makes a nice Monday morning way to start your week out when you have your set fishing buddy that comes with you every week. I love that. So thank you for joining me. If you like what I do here, please subscribe. We're getting close to 3,000 subscribers. I got something in the works for it. A lot of interesting stuff still going on, and it's only July. It's only the middle. I don't know what the day is. We're still in the middle of July, so we got a lot of good fishing left. So stay tuned for everything to come. Thanks as always. Keep your tip up.